not be to support Peter Obi. We need to know how Peter Obi go take win this election, and how we go take monitor vote, and how we go take know say they rig this election. Man, not talk too much. Make I live now with this man. Make this man enlighten us about 2023 election and how Peter Obi go take win this election. When I watch the video, when I share the video, make other people hear that. Please, if you are new to my page, don't forget to follow this page when I watch them.
The elections in Nigeria is always rigged. Rigging is a major challenge in Nigeria. Many of the people in PDP, many of the leaders of Nigeria today, they are products of election rigging. And the APC and the PDP, they are the masters of the game. They will try to rig this election. So one of the ways to ensure that Peter Obi wins this election is to stop PDP and the APC from rigging this election. Now, rigging this election will be more difficult than it used to be for PDP and the APC, because this time around, under the Electoral Act, there will be electronic transmission of results. Now, how do you beat this challenge? How do P2B supporters beat this challenge of electronic transfer of results, to make sure that all the results where they voted is transmitted electronically? What can they do about it? Now, the thing they have to do is to ensure that wherever they voted, they monitor the votes effectively to make sure that what is tallied is what is transmitted. So wherever they are, they have their cameras, their phone cameras. They need to take a picture of the results as they were being declared. This is to, when they snap these results, they will forward it to the Mr. P2B coordinating committee that is in charge of receiving all the results from all over the country, so that whatever is being transmitted to Abuja will tally with what was voted in all the polling units. This is to track the votes and ensure that what is going to Abuja electronically is actually what was voted. And they should also ensure that results are transmitted electronically wherever they are, but they can't force the process. But at least if the conditions are conducive, take record of what is happening in the vote to prove that actually there was condition enabling environment for electronic transmission of results. Because if there is a network in that area, you can receive phone call and you can do all kinds of Wi-Fi activities with your phone, with your laptop. Surely they should be able to transmit the results. They cannot tell you that they cannot transmit the results. So they have to do it electronically. So that will help to checkmate the riggings by the PDP and the APC. Now, one other way that will really be a challenge is the human factor. Over the years, smaller political parties have not been doing well because they used to buy up their agents. Party agents used to sell out to some of the big parties. So there is a need to ensure that there is money to fund the activities of P2B campaign, so that reliable agents who cannot be easily bought over by the PDP and the APC on election day are put in position. and their needs taken care of. That also requires funding. It means that P2B supporters must find a way of raising money to fund their activities and enough money to fund what will happen on the election day. Because on the election day is the day that the APC and the PDP used to break the bank. They are ready to spend any amount on that day. They are looking for any agent of any political party who is not happy with the situation of things. Because when you put up an agent, he doesn't have money to do some of the things he needs to do, and all that, he became disgruntled, then he's ready to be bought over by the highest bidder, especially when, if the agents are the people who have already been part of the corrupt system of this country, who believe that the only way to succeed in Nigeria is to be bribed, is to be part of the corrupt system. So they can easily sell out and allow the opponents to do whatever they like with the figures. So that is why it is important that those who will represent the Labour Party and Mr. Obi as party agents in all the polling units must be people of impeccable integrity, people who are ready to sacrifice whatever PDP and APC will give to them to ensure that there is real change in Nigeria. Those are the kind of men that Labour Party and P2B supporters must be looking for to act as agents, not agents whose eyes are on monetary acquisition, monetary accumulation, because that would be dangerous. If such characters constitute the majority, even if they are 30% or 20%, they are likely to do a lot of damage to the quest of Mr. P2B to become the next president. One of the things that needs to be done first, and it has to be done by the supporters of Mr. P2B, is to make sure that they register for the election. Make sure that they register to vote. If this army of supporters are not registered and are not with their PVCs, then everything is going to end up in vain. There are people who think that Mr. P2B has embarked on an impossible task. But here we are going to show the pathway through which Mr. P2B will become the next president of Nigeria. His disruption of the political equation of Nigeria will be compared to that of Emmanuel Macron, the president of France. In 2016, nobody gave Emmanuel Macron a chance that he could emerge the president of France. That was the year he formed a new party, La République, in March. But by 2017, he mobilized the youths of France and shook the foundation of France politics and emerged president. Mr. P2B is set to do that if certain criteria are met. And these criteria, though tough, is surmountable. In fact, his campaign has been reminding me of the Obama's campaign in 2008. Recently, a colleague of mine went to go and obtain her PVC. When she got there in a part of Abuja, the crowd there was enormous. Many of them youths. The youths that were there said they were purposely there because they want to collect their PVC so that they can vote for Mr. Peter Obi. Many of them had never voted before. Many of them never thought it's necessary to vote. But this time around, they want to vote. They want to vote for Mr. Peter Obi. So it is that kind of sensitization, that kind of drive through which Obama won in 2008 in his first presidential victory. That is what is presently playing out in Nigeria. If you look at Mr. Peter Obi's Twitter handle, it has passed the 1 million mark followers since he left PDP, with his integrity intact. So all eyes are on him now and how it is going to be done. And Mr. Peter Obi cannot do it alone. He has to do it with this army of youths who are clamoring for him to bring the kind of change that Nigerians need. Because PDP, with this army of youths who are clamoring for him to bring the kind of change that Nigerians need. Because PDP and the APC cannot give any change. They are the same thing. The difference between PDP and the APC is the difference between Eba and Gary, or 6 and half a dozen. So how is Mr. Peter Obi going to do it? How is this going to be possible? First, Mr. Peter Obi has built the confidence of Nigerians by being a leader who has shown that he valued money and he doesn't believe in primitive accumulation of wealth. He has a lifestyle that can be emulated by the youths. Since he left government house, he's not on pension. They did not build any special house for him as other former state governors are enjoying. Mr. Peter Obi had been chairman of a federal parastatal, had been chairman of Nigerian Exchange Commission, Security and Exchange Commission. He has been chairman of Security and Exchange Commission. While he was there, he refused to collect salary or allowance. That's typical Mr. Peter Obi. So it's not like your average politician, all those ones throwing around millions of dollars, obviously not earned through proper way, product of corruption and looting of state treasuries and federal treasuries.